he goes, I have some students that I teach out of my garage, and I'm closing up, and I want to send my students someplace where I think that they'll learn something. Well, turns out it was Joe. So he did recommend his students come over and train at my place, and then he came over and started teaching classes as well.
Nice.
So that's how we kind of met. And
you should have threw his ass out then.
Yeah. Come in here judging my school.
Yeah. Well, it happened a couple of times. Not with John specifically, but there was other people that walked into my school
He might be now soon, and he'll do it again. Who knows?
Now, what system are you teaching? Are you kaiju or?
No, I'm a Kempo person.
Kempo. Okay. Nice. So was I.
Yeah.
At one time, yeah. That's the first system I learned.
Is it?
I actually enjoyed it outside of the instructor. The instructor was, he was an instructor, so. So you get some good ones, you get some bad ones.
Yeah, that's true, and that's the thing about martial arts. The instructor either makes or breaks.
Yeah.
What you're doing on the mat, and if you got a poor instructor, it really.
What style of Kempo?
Shaolin Kempo.
Shaolin.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Isn't JJ?
JJ, yeah.
Yeah. So one of our students.
One of our students, Jonathan Johnson. He trained under Rick Alamany.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been I think he's a fifth degree. With that system. So.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't under Rick Alamany. I studied initially under Fred Villari, and then after that breakup happened, United Studios, and that's where I got back into it. And I had a school, United Studios school for.
And
a while.
You don't have your own school, or you?
I did for a while. Then I took a break from teaching, and I was only teaching privately for a few years, and then I missed it and wanted to get back into it.
That's something that reoccurring thing that martial artists who leave, especially if they were instructors in the past, they try to get back there. You get this thing, you see people and you see the kids, and you're like, man, I'd like to jump back in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. You miss being on the mat, you miss interacting with students, you miss being on the mat teaching, helping people grow.
Right.
And that's a big part of why I do what I do. I like you students that come in, they just know absolutely nothing about the martial arts, or they're coming there for a specific reason.
Right. Yeah.
Whether it's because they're being picked on, or whether they want to develop more confidence, or maybe to focus their energy someplace, and that's what I missed. So I got back into it.
Yeah. It's funny because the break that I had from the Kempo to what I'm doing now, Filipino martial arts, there was a long period of time when I wasn't doing anything.
You were a clown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was making animals. But my brother, who came back from the military, Air Force, he said, "Hey, look at this thing I learned," and it was Filipino martial arts back in '92. And I tell you, once I got it into it, I was like, you get that bug again. You're like, I'm going to start teaching you. I mean, you're right. You do tend to miss it if you're absent for a while.
You do. With martial arts, if you get around good people, it's a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, big plug again. We're trying to reach out to the community for this. This is why, we had you on specifically to reach out to the community and say, hey, look, one of our brothers is going through some stuff. And what I've been finding lately in the past few years, it's becoming more of a tribe brotherhood type of atmosphere in the martial world. Mm-hmm. Back in our day, it wasn't, right? Everybody was like, no, you stay out of your school.
Yeah.
You were this, and that was it.
That was it.
But I've noticed, people like Dennis, our good friend Dennis Duarte, Mike Cardenas, even Siju, we're cross-sharing, and we're just, getting everybody in the community to just be this family type of thing. And I felt, that's why we had you come on the show, because we wanted to show that this is a supportive community. No matter whether you know them or not, people, they rise to the occasion, and I love that about this. And that's why I thought, hey, let's put you on here.
Well, there's that character development that comes with the martial arts, right?
Yeah.
And how do we promote that? Well, we have to show it.
Well, when I first came here today, and I walked in, I said hello to Bear, and I came in to see Joe, and when you came out and brought this up, I was like on the spot. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't even know you guys.
I had
were
a
gonna be
gun to
here
his
do
head,
it.
folks. I forced him in here.
He really did. He really did.
Yeah, I was surprised, but I thank you both
No,
for
we
doing this. I was surprised, but I'm grateful to both of you.
Yeah, he had no clue. He just,
Yeah.
come on, you're being on the
Blindsided
show.
shit. Hey, we're gonna put you on the camera. Wait, what? And it's like, I don't have anything to say. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll make it up as we go, as we
We
always
usually
do.
do, yeah. Because I mean, it's one thing to say it; it's another thing to do it. And for us, like, we can't help in many ways, but in whatever way we can, we're gonna do it.
Well, just you guys being willing to do this means a lot to me.
No.
And putting
it was
me on
nothing.
It's just
All right.
We're using their
Cut,
electricity.
end the show. Let's go.
We're using their
That's it.
electricity.
It got
It's
too
okay.
wholesome now.
And we got a free shirt out of it.
Yeah, we did. I got 3.
John and Bear doing this. They're really good friends, and they're going out of their way to help out.
And again, the community is such. When they have a fallen brother or something, they will stand in and say, "Hey, let me help you up." And that's what I've always liked about the martial arts, especially of late, because a lot of people that we've been talking to, as you know, our show, they're just very giving.
Yeah. Seriously.
They give up the time and they're willing to share whatever they have, and it's fun. It
is.
makes me feel good about being in the martial world, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Because back in our days, like I said,
Oh
it's
no!
horrible.
You didn't.
My kung fu better than yours. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
better.
You didn't associate for the most part with other martial artists, and
Yeah.
God forbid your instructor found out you were training at another school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big issue.
Excommunicado.
Yep.
Yeah, been there, done that. Yes. I was very disillusioned about that back in the day.
Yeah, that didn't always. When I was coming up through the ranks, I was actually, I studied Taekwondo for quite a while.
Oh, wow.
Out on the East Coast with Jun Rhee Institute, and but that
Jun Rhee, I know that name.
back then, that was really the only martial arts school I knew, because back then, Jun Rhee was all over TV,
Right.
and
Yeah,
he had his
him and his
commercials.
sons and-
Yeah, and so there was a Jun Rhee school in the town that I lived. So when I guess I was in junior high, there was a toy store in this little strip mall, and 2 doors down was the Jun Rhee school, and in the little window it had all the belts
Of
lined
course,
up,
yeah.
and I always look in the window like, oh, I want to do that, and so I finally signed up, and I was there for a couple of years before we moved back to California. But
That's cool.
that
I think
that kind of set me on
that path, yeah.
that path to where I am now.
Yeah.
Right.
Was all of my instructors were just I thought were badass. Jeff Smith was the owner of the school. He wasn't there all the time, but he did a couple of classes that I was teaching. Steve Boyles, Jeff Green. I know they're not household names, but like no one outside of the Taekwondo world is really going
Right.
to know them. But I really looked up to these guys.
Yeah.
They were just like they're my mentors, and
Role models, yeah.
I was like, I want to do what they do.
That's cool.
We skipped a few steps here because, okay, so you were in San Bruno. Mm-hmm. Parents split up. Your dad moved to the East Coast?
No, my dad stayed here. My mom remarried, and the guy she remarried, they worked for the government. And
Oh.
he got a job back east, the Pentagon. So we moved out
You
there.
leaked that stuff. No,
Yeah,
That was you.
yeah, that was me.
Make sure we have no windows. Got a sniper. Take it
Yeah,
out.
so I moved to Virginia, and we were out there for a little over 7 years.
You got around,
Wow.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I went to 6 different elementary schools.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why you were picked on.
Yeah. I was the perpetual new kid growing up.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
At one point, did you just stop bringing a backpack? He's like, I'm not gonna be here that long.
Yeah.
My bags are still packed.
Yeah,
We haven't emptied it out.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
tough. That's a hard life to live as a kid.
Yeah, it is. It makes it was a little unsettling as a kid because when I lived in Pacifica, and I went to school from kindergarten to third grade there, and that's when my parents split, and then we moved to South City, and then to San Bruno, and then to the East Coast. But yeah, I was constantly switching schools.
Man.
Did you ever blame yourself?
What the hell did I do wrong? Yeah.
Where did I go?
Mommy left because of me. Sorry. See, that's why he learned martial arts, to fight the demons inside.
For you folks who are waiting for Mr. O'Leary here to get up and do a demo, we've already discussed this, and today, because he's got a bad hip, we're not gonna have him say, what we're gonna do though is Nain and I are just gonna beat the shit out of him since he can't do much.
I can't defend myself.
That's where all the weapons.
That's why we got these. That's going to be the demonstration.
Yeah.
But I mean, where do you see yourself going? I mean, I know you're still the tough.
Reeling from all these.
Yeah. Your son's still, going to the doctor, still getting checked up. So it's an easier breath, but you're still kind of holding that in a little bit.
Yeah, there's still something in the back of your head. It's like, okay, what's next?
Right.
But I'm. He's doing better, but you're always waiting. Unfortunately, think, okay, what's going to go wrong next? Right now.
The other thing is like these two other little bastards. What are they going to keep? What the fuck do I got to do with these two fuckers? Don't do drugs. Don't do drink. I could just see you. If you guys want to end up like him, don't you do
But he didn't do any of those things.
I don't care. Neither did he.
Yeah, you're very mindful.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's got to be in the back of your head, right?
You're
We've
mindful.
got two more. What can go wrong?
Just how fragile life really is.
I mean,
And,
one day to the next.
So I'm trying to keep things into perspective and not go overboard and be too protective.
Right.
Because my boys need the ability to grow and live their own lives.
Right.
I don't want to be that parent that stands over them.
Yeah. The helicopter parent.
Yeah. God, that drives me nuts.
I know, right? The term itself just kind of gets you. Ooh.
Yeah.
But that's still, I mean, that's tough. And now, I mean, so you're just taking it day by day. You're not even like.
Yeah. Everything is day by day.
Okay.
Has most of the fear subsided for you, or are you still kind of like any weird phone calls you get, like, oh my God, what's next? Or, I mean, that's
for the most part, that acute fear has subsided.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
because that's got to be something, right? I mean, you're constantly waiting by the phone. You're constantly, something, and somebody farts funny. You'll be like, okay, what is it now? Right?
Yeah. There was a lot of that all through January and most of February.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. I'm going to try to have Bear come up here and and because from what I'm hearing, Bear is a big part of this for you. I mean,
actually, a good friend of mine, his name's Lenny. He's the one that initially got this GoFundMe started.
Hey, come around here. Folks, we have a special guest on our show
Oh,
today. I've been trying to get this bastard to come on our show, and he keeps saying no, so this is the only way I can do it. Sneak his ass in here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is his school.
We wanted to, again, we brought up that you and Siju back there has put this stuff together, and he's told that you're a good friend. So I wanted to give you an opportunity, to deny it.
Never happened. The real story.
Give us the lowdown on this, because he tells an interesting story about you.
Yeah.
I got a lot of great stories. I got a lot of great stories about Mr. Pinky here.
Yeah.
Mr. Pinky. Okay, and now we got to ask, right? What's
Mr.
with
Pinky.
this? What's this?
Are we talking finger or color?
No. Pinky. Yeah. We were sparring, and I got kicked with a roundhouse kick, and it right on the pinky, and it.
Oh, we're talking about the real pinky.
Yeah, a real pinky. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, folks.
The broken
My
pinky.
noise goes to the gutter.
Yeah. So that 30 years.
30 years. And he just won't let you forget it.
He won't let me live it down.
Wait, so did your finger end up?
Oh yeah, no. See, it's still crooked.
And you still want to call him friend.
Occasionally, yeah.
Depends on the day.
So what did it take to put all this together for this event?
Well, my staff, my daughters and everything that help me out.
He
put
makes
it all
these
together.
shirts.
Made the shirts for the
You
event.
need a design. I gotta plug everything I can. Just you know.
Yeah. He give you a good price.
But known Mike for like over 30 years, best man in my wedding, you know. So we go way back. We trained together back in the old days in our old systems. We just basically became really good friends. Ex-military, I'm ex-Air Force.
Yeah, he was talking mad shit about the Air Force.
We didn't think much of you guys.
Jarhead, you know.
It was like,
He probably said 7-5.
We did. Yeah, I brought
see how he said it? You just pissed off all the Marines.
Sorry, Marine Corps, Air Force all the way.
Ooh. Hey, we have to redo the whole pinky incident now. We'll film that
Well,
instead.
so instead of Mr. O'Lear here doing the demo, we got Bear to jump in for him as a stunt double.
Yeah, we look alike.
That's yeah. Could you tell?
Mr. Pinky. I'm not gonna forget that.
Oh shit! No,
And it's also on the internet now.
It's also really too funny. You know, you guys have known each other, like you said, 30 years. That's quite a long time. Because we were talking about the community being able to pull together, you know, for a fallen brother to help each other out. And I see this camaraderie that you guys have, and with even Siju back there. Why, I don't know, but that's becoming more and more prevalent thing these days. You know, because like you said, back in our day, you could not even intermingle with another school. That
with another
was
school,
like
no.
taboo, right?
Yeah.
But more and more, and I love that. I love that we can now reach out to each other and be, you know, as a close family as we can, and to reach out and ask for help, especially for in Mike's case, he needs a new heater, folks.
Yeah.
It's not even about the kid anymore. We need a heater.
Water heater, the new heating system, pay the plumber,
New flooring,
new flooring,
sheetrock, new
sheetrock.
paint.
Oh, that's right. He had a lake in his house in the living room.
The living room. Yeah. Oh, new furniture.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you able to go
Pretty
fishing?
At least.
Yeah,
In the
no. We did a little swimming, but
Yeah.
fish
Yeah.
weren't biting.
You know, remind me not to go over to your house, and I just don't want you to fall on me.
I know.
Dude, the roof will fall on you.
That's what I'm saying. Something's going to happen.
It's gonna be around.
So, thank you for jumping in here
pleasure,
with us.
pleasure.
You know, because folks, if you ever want shirts and stuff, he actually does some really good stuff. He actually created some
Oh,
of our
he-
a lot of our shirts,
a
and
lot of the stuff we wear is from him.
yeah. So reach out to Mr. Bear Carrillo, a real super nice guy. He'll give you the family discount, which is like plus.
We don't
whatever
even
he
know if
chooses.
Bear is his real
He
name.
actually adds an additional.
He'll charge you double because
Yeah.
if you name us.
Yeah, the
Sometimes 3
handling
times.
fee. He charges you a handling fee, even if you come out and pick it up. So yeah. It's in the paperwork. Read
It
it.
is. Fine print.
All right, now get out of here, Big Bob.
Have fun.
All right, brother.
That was Master
Master
Bear.
Bear.
Is he a master? He's got to be, right, Grandmaster?
What's his real name?
Bear. He Bear.
Right? Is it Bear?
He
Is
Bear.
Bear his real
No,
name?
it bears
It's
his
Heber.
nickname.
Okay.
It's,
It's He Bear, right?
honestly,
we
at
don't
30 years, and
You
I still can't.
I saw one of
I-
the
I-
certificates that says
yeah.
He Bear. Come on, I read.
That's not how it's pronounced, though.
Hebert.
Yeah, he makes fun of me when I try to pronounce his name, so,
So
I
he
don't.
stopped.
So we just call him Bear.
We just call him Bear.
Because I met him at Bear, and I'm like, wait, that's not his real name, is it?
No,
I
that's
had
not
to
his real
question
name.
it for a little bit. Because that's all I know him as, just Bear.
Just
like,
Bear, yeah.
You know, just go talk to Bear. I'm like, who?
You know, folks, this might have been almost 2 years ago the last time you and I seen each other here, right? Or was it just last year?
It was last year.
Last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
I was
when
on,
we
hey,
talked.
would you like to be on our show?
He said no.
And it took a personal. They did take
That's crazy.
Oh, wait, I have another guest to come on board. Hey, you, come hither. Folks, this guy seems to follow us. I think he's our personal groupie.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of our episodes.
How you doing?
Good to hear you.
Again, another one of the old guards who is really trying to perpetuate
You just called him
kindness
old.
and
Well, I am.
helpfulness, right?
I'm 60, so what the hell?
Yeah.
You look a day over 75, dude.
I do.
At
Yeah.
least 2 days.
I'm dealing
At
with
least
your
2
ass.
days. Yeah, well, he's a stressful one.
Folks, it's Dennis Duarte.
Hey, folks.
Once
Empathy man.
again,
Yes.
you know.
Well, of course.
How many times have you been on our show?
I stopped counting when the check started to clear.
Oh, yeah.
See?
I don't know.
Wait, he's getting a check? What the hell?
You don't pay attention to anything.
I do not.
Jesus Christ.
I'm surprised you got
I
my
mean, I'm
name
using
right.
your checkbook, but still.
Okay.
But
So-
he's always supporting. That's the thing.
Well, that's
we
what this
wanna
is
say,
about,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, how far did you come from to get here, right? I mean,
Actually, this was a close one. It only took me about 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes, yeah. Because, again, we talk about the community, right? We talked about it with Bear. We talked about it on the show. One of the greatest things that's been coming about is Mr. Duarte and another handful of other guys are really trying to get this community to really gel together,
Yeah.
right? And to help people like John here. It's just amazing. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's something I never thought was going to happen. It's something I never thought was going to happen in the martial world, where everybody would open doors and allow each other, to help each other out and whatnot. This is amazing. I love that.
Well, I don't know it's not a broken record, but you've heard me probably say it on the show here, but I know I said it to you and you several times, is that if we're not helping each other, then what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, listen, you have the martial arts, and then you have the martial arts community, then you have the Ohana or the tribe, as I like to
Right.
call it. If you're not helping each other, then that's fine. Go find something else to do, but we're going to try to help each other out.
And folks, with that, we have a GoFundMe, and I don't know the name of it. We're going to have
We'll
it
add
posted
it
up.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to post it. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
He's just
the
pocketing
link.
the money, folks.
Yeah,
He needs a new heater.
Well, I mean, the bottom line, I guess, listen, I got to run.
Yeah.
The thing is, one of the things, if you're going to be a part of the martial arts community, you have to be a part of something bigger than just your JoJo, in my personal opinion. So we have Ohana, you heard that statement a lot. You've had the different organizations that you're a part of, but, try to do something good with that.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
is it a kidney situation?
Liver.
A liver situation here.
Past it.
Yeah. So if we're out here helping somebody, be healthier,
There it is. Thank you.
then let's perpetuate that. If you're out there, teaching good martial arts and you want to help somebody else become a better martial artist, do that as well.
Right.
It's all about betterment. So on that note, I do have to run, gentlemen.
Right.
Pleasure,
Dennis,
sir. I
thank
wish you
you
the
so
best.
much.
Give you my
I
prayers.
appreciate it.
All right,
Say hi to
sir.
the wife.
I will. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the cameo.
No, you're welcome.
Check will clear. I promise. Bye, guys.
Supposedly.
Bye. Thank you.
He gave us a piece of paper and said, I owe you again. All right.
Oh, I already passed it around to our class, by the way. So I have the link.
Oh, you have the link?
Yeah, I have the
Oh,
link.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So what's the name of it, though, or what are we calling it?
Is there? Yeah. Can people just search it up?
Yeah, let me.
It's coming, folks.
We'll figure it out. Eventually, at one point.
We are-
Technology-
keep talking. I'll figure
We,
this out.
we are going to have this posted on the screen.
Yeah.
So, folks, anything's going to help.
Yeah.
I mean, our good friend Mr. O'Leary here is good for it.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it's,
just a link.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
GoFundMe.me/DD0CEB.
We're going to have it on the screen, folks.
Yeah,
We're
let-
not
let-
even gonna-
Let's put it on the screen.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, so don't worry about it. Because we're not going to repeat that at all. We're not very good at this because we don't plan anything
Ever.
ever.
Nothing is
Anything
ever scripted.
whatsoever.
You know what? I think that's more fun. Just let it flow, and whatever happens, happens.
It becomes what it becomes, god dang it. We're getting really good at doing nothing.
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of all we do. It's what we ultimately want to learn in the martial arts, right? We want to get to a point where we do very little, and the guy flies across the room.
There you go.
Like that's where we want to be. Is it possible? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we
I
go
would have
along.
loved to have Johnny Oliva come up here, but he's over there busy playing with the students, like he always does.
He's dedicated that way.
He's very
really is.
dedicated.
Like when he's on the mat, he's on the mat. Unless it's Mr. O'Leary that comes on, then he stops and he goes and hugs them, and that's it. But he goes right back to it.
That's right.
Yeah, no, he's very focused and dedicated once he's on the mat.
You got to love that about him.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
folks, this is our time with the show for today.
It is.
Is there anybody you want to shout out to? Your wife, the kids?
Hello to my wife and kids, and I want to thank you guys for doing this and
Are
having
you
me
kidding? We're
on.
having a great time.
Yeah.
Where's your school at in Fulton?
In Folsom,
Folsom.
Folsom.
I am on
That's close.
Blue Ravine Road in Folsom.
Right. You want to give an address?
The
maybe?
name-
It's
of the
25075 Blue Ravine Road, Suite 130.
Ooh, okay. What's the name of the school?
Premier Martial Arts.
Premier Martial Arts. Okay. And
Shout out
what do
to you
teach
guys.
out out there?
I'm sorry?
What do you teach out there?
We do it's a combination of things. We do some kickboxing, we do some Krav Maga, and one of the instructors there does some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so
Sounds like
striking,
a lot of
kicking, and groundwork.
Yes.
I love it. Not to mention eye gouges and, Krav Maga.
Yeah, those
42
guys are
different
crazy.
ways. Yeah. That's a different. You can't use that in the ring, folks.
Well, this has been Rico and
Wow, did you forget how to...
Dude,
come on,
I
man.
forgot how to
All right,
exit out
so
of
thank you
myself.
for joining us on another
On this-
episode of Kali Conversations with our
with
very
me,
special
Rick.
guest. Wow.
I know, folks. This is only our second show back after
I
a year
know,
hiatus.
Right. Has
Yeah,
it been that long?
it's been over a
Holy
year,
crap,
yeah.
We suck at this. So thank you for joining us on Kali Conversations with
Me, Rick,
and me, Nain, and our
and
special
our special
guest.
guest, Mike O'Leary. I actually called him John earlier, so
Earlier, you know what? You made me question. I was like, is his name John? Shit, I thought it was Mike. I felt so bad that I've been calling him Mike this whole time, and it was John.
folks, you know how I am with names, so there's not even a
It
forgiveness thing
happens
here.
to us
Yeah.
when we get older.
Every
doesn't it?
time it is. All right, so as
somebody-
usual, 3,
3, 2, 1, cut.